In a prior video, I talked about the BAE Systems Taranis, and in that video I think I also mentioned the BAE Systems Mantis. In any case, BAE is a brilliant firm, and they've been developing UAS concepts and actual UAS systems for quite a while now, and the other day they released their newest model, and it's pretty cutting edge, it's pretty amazing, as you know I've really come to expect at this point from BAE. Just the other day, they launched at the Australian Avalon Air Show, Strix, and I just thought I might tell you a little about it. In this case, Strix is not the bird of ill omen, but a drone of good omen. It seems to go beyond the classic ISL drones that we're used to seeing nowadays, the divergence that we have seen in the past 5 odd years. Something like Fire Scout, which is quintessentially an ISR drone. But Strix goes and sort of changes that. Strix isn't merely an ISR drone. It's got a proper payload. It's got superior and more versatile situational adaptability. It's got more fast-paced movement, as well as enhanced landing ability, unlike these ISR drones. It can carry out operations in different areas of the war space. It's more versatile inherently, and it can transition between them better. In addition to an really hugely increased range for what it can do, which is incredibly important. Furthermore, it seems to go beyond the traditional combat drones like Reaper, or that sort of model. With decreased size, which aids logistical ease, it's got more integrated roles with other vehicles in the war space, and really more rugged operational capability. It doesn't require a runway, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So this new UAS, for BAE, utilizes vertical takeoff and landing with tilt rotor capacity. Basically, it starts off with vertical takeoff with rotors pointing upwards, and then it goes as you'd see a propeller plane go, similar to the Osprey of the US. And this allows for conventional flight as well as VTOL. And you've got really powerful propellers, which turn into incredibly powerful rotors, which turn into incredibly powerful propellers again. And the transition between these two modes, as well as takeoff and landing, are fully autonomous. So not only does it not really rely too much on human operators for anything other than the more important decisions where the mind should be kept clear, tactical decisions, strategic decisions, it is pretty well operational on its own, and it's got pretty amazing takeoff, landing, and transit ability. And it is, of course, smaller than most of the other combat drones that we see. Unlike those drones, it doesn't require a runway, and it's not incredibly expensive like the really advanced stealth drones that we're seeing nowadays. And because it's smaller, effectively, and it doesn't require a runway, it can operate in significantly more rugged conditions. And once it's up, once it's away, and once it's flying properly, it utilizes tandem wing design, i.e. there's 2 pairs of wings that give it a really huge range of 800 kilometers, even when fully loaded. And this is something we see where it is divergence from, again, these classical models that we see. You think something's going one way, you think that the stealth combat drone market is going a certain way towards these incredibly expensive, but actually quite exquisite drones like the Stingray or the Ghost Bat, those sorts of things that also have huge ISR ability, but then it is actually potentially going in another way towards more low-cost solutions. In any case, really its role is threefold. Primarily, like all UAS, it does have the inherent ability to conduct ISR. That's the collection of intelligence, the performance of surveillance, and the activity of reconnaissance. But, like only a few other UAS, we see that Strix is actually a combat drone, able to carry a payload, and it is, again, versatile in this sense, rather than being specialized. Now, at this moment, the payload is around 160 kilograms, and when they showed the payload, it was near certain that it was being envisioned as dual hardpoints beneath the aircraft carrying 2 Razer system precision-guided munitions. I'll talk about those munitions in another video. Actually, I'll talk about them now. Razer, not razor as in a straight razor, but Razer as in the thing that raises an area, as in designed to raise an area to the ground, is a proposed precision-guided munition, also by BAE Systems. Think of it a little like APKWS, but on steroids, for larger targets, in an air-to-ground sense. Now, it takes 40 to 50 kilograms of unguided munition, whatever that might be, and via a low-cost package, apologies, radiators going again, it can be upgraded into a precision-guided munition, as we see with something like APKWS, but in this case, it's far, far longer range and for larger targets. It's got extending wings for the munition to glide, so the likelihood is that it will be similar to Stormbreaker, only in this case it's an upgrade package, and significantly cheaper, likely. Now, Razer will most likely be standoff capable because of this, probably for use on UAS and helicopters. So that's Razer. Apologies, the radiator is still going. Anyway, back to Strix. Additionally, Strix is seen as having the potential to be one of these loyal wingman drones. Now, when we look at the normal loyal wingman drones, we typically see them as something used inherently for planes. We see them accompanying the new stealth fighters that are coming in, and they're going to be these incredibly expensive, exquisite stealth drones that are on the way. But actually, this is something different. This could potentially be a loyal wingman drone for helicopters. Now, this is even better than it initially seems, and even more achievable than I guess it initially seems. As the Strix VMS, that's the vehicle managing system, or management system, the sort of underlying software architecture that organizes the battle space, it's already fitted on certain Australian systems, and is compatible with certain Australian systems. And that's going to make it significantly easier to integrate into the fighting force that is already existent. So the Australian military's autonomous program would be significantly better, because you've got better data links, you've got a centralized vehicle management system, and as development occurs, it can be compatible with the M113 APC, Armored Personnel Carrier, and the MQ-29 Ghost Bat, and that's a huge plus. Great integration ability, and you don't have to purchase a load of new stuff. All in all, Strix is actually something that's pretty incredible, and it seems to be versatile and is likely going to play a role in the future of drone warfare. It's something that you don't often see, again, in the last few years, where drones, or at least the idea of a loyal wingman drone or a stealth drone, is something that has come to extreme prevalence. It's, to an extent, redefining what that actually means, focusing on more low-cost solutions rather than going for the very best, which might be the way to go. It's an interesting thought. Everyone nowadays is concerned about turning every single large vehicle into a drone mothership. Well, Strix, again, allows for helicopters to be that mothership. It allows for a really potent payload with upgrading, or updating rather, old munitions that are unguided, allowing countries to use up old stockpiles, meaning they don't have to just dispose of them and buy new ones, which is hugely important and, you know, promotes more low-cost solutions within a military context. And I think what I would also say is that not only does it allow helicopters to be that mothership, it also allows for the potent payload and this versatility of launch platforms, whether that be ship or, you know, just literally a field, or actually lack thereof via the VTOL, newly combined with more potent tilt rotor capability that allows it to have huge range and be super fast. Really the best of all worlds. Now, beyond the hugely useful conventional ISR, Strix seems to be making the first steps into introducing what is a more integrated battle space, with versatile drones that can operate in all theatres of war, which again makes logistics significantly easier. It would appear that, as many of you will know, recent naval contracts have been proving everyone nowadays wants this drone mothership. And the accompanying drones are clearly already being developed. In fact, Strix could be ready and actually in service by the year 2026. So I just thought it was worth mentioning. There we have it. Remember that 2026 is the year of Strix. The real age of the drone is potentially on the way for the next 10 odd years. So we'll see what happens.